Hello folks and welcome back to Popular Music. This is our last week of learning, last week of discussion questions. Next week we're going to do something fun to wrap up the year. But this week in Popular Music, for our last week, we're going to be talking about that idea of teen spirit. Dun dun dun! Hip-hop, alternative music or alt music, and the entertainment business. As always folks, you can find these slides on our Google Classroom if you wish to go a little bit more in depth. I will not be reading everything on every slide because, quite frankly, that's boring. And it would take us a century to get through this. And so I'm going to hit on the highlights for this presentation. And let's begin. All right, so at the end of the 20th century, so the end of the 1990s, okay, it was impossible to sustain a clear-cut idea of what popular American music was all about. There was this dichotomy, this split between country and folk and hip-hop and R&B. There was a lot of kind of variation, in terms of the music that was being played. And we get Johnny Cash, who is expanding that country style all the way up until his death in 2003. Okay, but throughout the 1980s, or 70s, 80s, and 90s, okay, there was this resurgence in American recordings or North American recordings, and Johnny Cash had a really big role to play in that. Hip-hop broke out 1980s to the 1990s. Okay, we get this rapid acceleration of hip-hop and rap. Big movement became very, very popular, okay, throughout North America and even into Europe as well. In 1986, there was the release of first two albums, okay, that went, first two rap albums that became so popular, they went multi-platinum. So they sold over 2 million copies, okay, and so it really, truly, rap and hip-hop truly became central to the North American music scene in the 1980s and up until about 1995 or so. Okay, and the reason for this is because of MTV and the music video and producing music videos and getting that out there for the public really helped these rap artists become quite famous. And a couple of them, we've got Run DMC with their album called Raising Hell, and the Beastie Boys, who somehow still exist today, are playing, even to today. They came out with a really major album that went multi-platinum called License to Ill. Okay, we got Run DMC, created by Joseph Simmons. Okay, who else we got? We also have DJ Jam Master Jay coming out at this point in time. Okay, and these are perhaps the most influential artists, rap artists, hip-hop artists of this period. So if you have a chance, have a listen to Walk This Way, okay, by Joe Perry, Steven Tyler, performed by Aerosmith. Okay, and, it's performed by Run DMC with Perry and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith. Okay, this was a million-selling single. One song sold more than 1 million copies. Okay, have a listen to it. It was the first rap video that was put into heavy rotation on MTV. So it was the first rap video, Walk This Way, that was played on MTV over and over and over again. And this particular album, and this particular single, played a pivotal role in the mainstream of rap music. Without the song Walk This Way, okay, which was performed by Run DMC, we wouldn't have the same kind of feel to rap music as we do today. All right, hip-hop also breaks out with the Beastie Boys. Okay, if you don't know who the Beastie Boys are, that's okay. Please Google them. They're a rap trio, a hip-hop rap trio that was the first commercially successful white or Caucasian hip-hop group. Okay, everybody up until now and many, many groups after Beastie Boys were African-American or African-Canadian. And still made a lot of money, and the Beastie Boys were the first successful white group as well. Okay, we also get Public Enemy. They were founded in 1982. Okay, they were organized around a core set of members who met as college students, which a lot of these musicians in this time period first kind of met and came out as either hip hop or R&B artists. Okay, they were drawn together by their interest in the hip hop culture of the time, and especially in post-secondary schools, so universities or colleges at this time, there's still this wave of hippiness. The hippie movement wasn't quite dead in the post-secondary world. Okay, we got Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Terminator X, okay, and Professor Griff, all part of this hip hop scene, all part of Public Enemy. Okay. They came out with an album called in 1988, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Okay, this fused the ideas of social and political analysis and what was happening in the world at the time. That this album really spoke to the political kind of culture of the time. And hip hop and R&B, as well as rap, were really great at promoting and bringing people together and bringing to light a lot of these kind of key issues that were happening. And really this speaks to the world today and what's happening in the United States and in Canada today, with still this really deep-rooted concept of racism, and how the music of today, and I can almost guarantee it, the music that we will listen to in the next little while is going to be politically driven. And the lyrics and the way that these artists today are going to promote and distribute and discuss their music is going to be truly based on what is happening in the world with COVID-19, with segregation and racism and police brutality in the United States. As well as in Canada, the way that we've treated Indigenous people here in Canada and the United States. I feel that the music of today is going to be about these politically, culturally driven topics, which is really good. We need to be talking about this stuff, and we need to be singing about it, because there's no better way to get a message out than through song, in my opinion. All right, so have a listen to this song, Night of the Living Bassheads. Okay, performed by Public Enemy in 1988. The lyrics combine images of zombies with commentary on drugs. Okay, the crack cocaine epidemic that hit inner cities, especially in the United States in the 1980s. Very complex groove that's happening here. The word dope actually comes from this album, from this song itself. The way we use, hey, that's so dope. That was weird. I will never say that again, but that phrase comes out of this song. So have a listen to this song. We also get the formation of gangsta rap. Okay, commercialization, the diversification of music, and the rise of gangsta rap in the 1990s. Okay, today we don't call it gangsta rap, we just call it rap. Okay, we've got, excuse me, MC Hammer coming out at this time. Okay, he's from kind of a rougher part of California, Oakland. He's a little bit rougher, okay, and he's experienced a lot in growing up in Oakland, and he was able to put his experiences to rhymes, which is awesome. We also get Vanilla Ice, okay? He's a white rapper, considered hip-hop's icon of whackness or weakness, okay? We also got, so gangster rap. Marginal variant of hip-hop, so it's a branch of hip-hop music featuring highly stylized narratives of dilemmas faced by urban communities. So we've got rappers and gangster rappers talking about poverty, talking about drug addiction, violence, from their perspective of truly living it on the ground in the 1990s. And they put what they've experienced into rhymes, and they started to rap about it, which is awesome. We need to get that message out there. We need to tell people through the music what is happening in the culture of these kind of inner city urban communities. And it's not just happening in the United States, but it's happening all over North America, even in our own backyards, and especially in Calgary and Vancouver and Toronto, maybe even in Airdrie. There could be parts of Airdrie where there is poverty, where there is drug addiction, okay, where there is violence. And it's important to talk about these issues and to try and see what we can do to solve them. It's really important. And one of the ways that these musicians like MC Hammer and Vanilla Ice were trying to solve them, even Eminem, okay, was through their music, to get that message out there. In the late 1980s, we get this distinctive regional variations on the formula of hip-hop music, which are established in different cities. Okay, we've got the style of Southern California. We've got the West Coast rap style, this old school New York hip-hop style. Okay, we've got the outlawed swagger style of gangster rap from Ice-T, coming out of South Central in Los Angeles. Okay, very, very gang-affiliated region of Los Angeles. We also get the emergence of West Coast gangsta rap. Okay, with NWA, with Ice Cube, whose real name is O'Shea Jackson. We also get Dr. Dre coming out. Okay, we got Eazy-E. All three of these guys, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eazy-E, forming NWA to get that, to get their message across in terms of what they were living on the streets and how they can influence the culture of the time through their music. That's what their lyrics were all about. How can they get their message out? How can they change things for the better? Out of this, we also get their album, Straight Outta Compton. There was a movie made about this. It was a really great movie. Really eye-opening. If you have a chance, have a watch of it. Okay, when we also get Snoop Doggy Dogg coming out of here. Calvin Broadus. Okay, coming out of this time period as well. Okay, now Snoop Dogg, okay, whose real name is, like I said, Calvin Broadus, okay, born in 1972. He came out with a single called What's My Name, okay, and it was written by George Clinton, Gary Scheider, Snoop Dogg, and David Spradley. It was produced by Dr. Dre. So Dr. Dre, who was part of NWA as a gangster rapper, he then went into the producing world. Okay, and they all performed together in 1993. Now this song, What's My Name, gives us a sense of Snoop Doggy Dogg's prowess as a rapper, okay, and Dr. Dre's distinctive G-Funk production style. Okay, very clean sounding song, and it was very relaxed. Okay, it's one of the first digitally mixed songs out of the gangster rap era. Okay, we also get, in the mid-1990s, we get violent eruption of conflicts between the East and the West Coast factions within the hip-hop music business. Okay, we also get Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, okay, or P. Diddy, coming out with his album or his record label, Bad Boy Records, who signed Notorious B.I.G. Okay, another big name rapper. Okay, gangster rap chronicled dilemmas, like I said, of urban communities, especially in the United States and in the major city centers of Canada as well. Poverty, drug addiction, violence from their point of view. This is what they have been talking about in their lyrics. This is what the message that they're trying to get across. All right, in the 1990s, late 1990s, late 1980s into the 1990s and into the 2000s, we get Queen Latifah. She is the most important woman in the history of hip-hop in terms of both her commercial success and her effectiveness in establishing a very feminist beachhead on the male-dominated field of rap music. There wasn't a lot of female rap musicians coming out of the 1990s, but Queen Latifah in 1989 came out with her debut album, All Hail the Queen. Okay? And the song on that album, called Ladies First, was exceptionally popular. Okay? And Queen Latifah provided this alternative to that kind of harder core, misogynistic gangster rap music that was coming from Snoop Dogg, that was coming from Notorious B.I.G. and NWA. Have a listen to this song it was written by Queen Latifah and KG. Okay, it's called Unity, Unity. Okay, it was released in 1994. Okay, have a listen to it. It's one of Queen Latifah's more famous songs of her earlier period. And then we move into this techno, dance music, digital age of music. Now, techno is a very broad term that encompasses new forms of faster tempo, repetitive electronic music made in the electronic world. Okay, digital music. It came out of, and you can hear it in many different, club scenes. We call it house music right now. Okay, but its original form was found in the clubs of New York, Chicago, Detroit, and many of the European cities were really big on this. It wasn't until the later 1990s, or the mid-1990s, 96 and onward, that techno or house music or dub house music, became popular in Canada. That being said, though, the idea of the rave, these dance clubs, which were semi-public events, okay, was started in the 1960s and blew through that hippie era. Okay, but we call techno music or dance music in the digital age, we call that today simply house music. Music that was played in dance clubs. Okay, alternative music, alt music. We get a lot of different names coming out of the alt music scene. Hundreds of different genres that splintered off from different current existing genres of music. And this went right through until the early 2000s. There's still some alt music, alternative bands today, but they're not as popular as they were in the 1990s. Okay, we get alt rock, alternative rock, coming out. This underground scenes in communities with very large populations of college students and student-programmed college radio stations that sought out these kind of smaller rock groups, these kind of alternative rock groups that couldn't put themselves in a specific genre like rock or punk or funk or ska. They were kind of a mishmash of a bunch of these different genres or smaller offshoots of them that college students and music programs in colleges and radio stations wanted to air on their kind of alt radio stations, right? Because it wasn't the mainstream alternative rock, and it became very popular in the 1980s and 1990s. Some of the most influential indie rock bands or alt rock bands, we get REM, okay, and Sonic Youth. We also get hardcore type alt rock coming out of this, right? The extreme variation of punk music, right? We would call it that kind of emo style of music. Okay, it took the frenzied energy of the Ramones and the Sex Pistols and pushed it to the very, very limit. Lots of screaming, lots of fast tempos, and it just sounds chaotic when you're listening to it. And a really great song, if you're kind of into the hardcore punk alt rock scene, is Holiday in Cambodia, okay, by the Dead Kennedys. Take a listen to that if that's kind of your style. We also get the thrasher movement. We got Nirvana coming out of this scene as an alt rock band, okay, with Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Grohl. Okay, these are the grunge kind of alt rock bands. Very, very popular. Nirvana was very, very successful and popular right up until the death of Kurt Cobain. Okay, we also get Phish, who created a loyal following by extending the approach of the Grateful Dead. Remember, we talked about the Grateful Dead in the previous lesson. Okay, they embrace those eclectic tastes, those kind of exotic sounds, and their music was truly devoted to the soloist. Okay, they were truly devoted to music that it was very difficult to go away humming to. We also get on the West Coast the Seattle sound. Okay, like Nirvana. Okay, like some resurgence in the old Jimi Hendrix sounds as well. Okay, and some female voices in the alternative folk and hip hop and country scene. We've got Annie DeFranco, very famous musician. Okay, she spent her career resisting the lure of the corporate music business. She released an album. She played approximately 200 live shows. Okay, and very successful as an independent artist. We also get Lauryn Hill, who's a hip-hop artist whose work is a self-conscious alternative to the violence and sexism of rap stars such as Dr. Dre and the Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac Shakur. Okay? Lauryn Hill built on the work of Queen Latifah to really give that sense of a female voice in the alt music, hip-hop, rap world. We also get K.D. Lang, one of the most famous Canadian musicians out there. Okay? Her early work showcased the influence of Patsy Cline, and she later recorded so many successful pop material. Okay? Annie DeFranco, okay? She introduced instrumental textures and vocal styles from punk rock. Lauryn Hill, okay? Her lyrics challenged aspects of the materialistic and sexist ideology on most commercial successful rap recordings. And we get K.D. Lang, very public persona, very, very controversial. She is part of the LGBTQ community, okay, a very strong advocate for the LGBTQ plus community, okay, and a lot of her subject matter in her lyrics really talks about a lot of these political and cultural topics that are quite sensitive, that not a lot of people want to talk about, that feel uncomfortable talking about, especially in their music. Okay, we also get George Strait and the rise of country western music. Okay, the modern country, not so much traditional country, not even so much traditional folk music, but modern kind of pop alternative country that we hear today from George Strait, Alan Jackson, Toby Keith. Okay, country music today is less youth-oriented, so it's less geared towards younger audiences, but is more geared towards mature and stable audiences with artists that have a long-standing career as hitmakers. So their albums might not be as successful as they would hope, but their singles are exceptionally successful. Okay, like Heartland from George Strait, or Midnight in Montgomery by Alan Jackson, or Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith. These are very popular songs. We also get Taylor Swift, who kind of bridged the gap between modern country sounds and popular music. Okay, she is a singer, songwriter, pop phenomenon. Okay, who, by the way, identifies as a country artist, not as a pop artist. We also get Gretchen Wilson, very famous country artist, known for her album her song, Redneck Woman, in 2004. Okay, we also get kind of a lot of country music happening in movies, right? The film Oh Brother Where Art Thou featured a lot of bluegrass music, okay? From Ralph Stanley, from Alison Krauss. Lots of really great folk roots in this resurgence of bluegrass music, which I find really fascinating. And I really like the sound of bluegrass music, the twanginess, the kind of traditional blues roots in bluegrass music. It's awesome. Okay, we also get the Latin scene, right? Latin superstars, Gloria Estefan and Selena. There's a movie called Selena. Now, she was killed, unfortunately, by a fan of hers. But they are big, big names in the Latin music world, and they became huge, okay, in North America for that Latin sound. Okay, Gloria Estefan came from Cuba. Selena coming from Mexico. Or Texas, but traditionally her family's from Mexico. We also get the rise of world music, right? The sounds coming out from different countries from all over the world are accessible to more and more people every day. With the advent of YouTube, okay, with the advent of artists like Ravi Shankar, okay, with King Sunny Ade, we got a lot of really cool ethnic music coming out, and traditional music from countries that in the past were not so willing to share their music. Okay, We also have Ali Farka Touré and Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan, who won Grammy Awards for their world music sound. So the advent of world music became very popular in the late 1990s, early 2000s in North America, because we wanted that kind of diversity in the music we listen to, and to kind of push us away from that everyday pop, country, folk, rap, hip-hop sound that we became somewhat used to, especially into the early 2000s. All right, so some key terms from this week. Okay, alternative music, gangsta rap, house music. What the heck is a mashup, right? Where more than one song comes together. They're at the right tempo, they're at the same tempo, they're at the same key. Okay, we got techno music, right? Our house music, the right? Thrasher music and the advent of world music. Now, on this list, I think we are missing the modern country and folk scene, the bluegrass music. I think is really important to have on this list, and I'm very sorry that it's not there. Some key people. Okay, Dr. Dre, DMC, or Run DMC. Okay, Eddie Vedder is really big, great guitar player. Eazy-E, okay, George Strait. Some of the Latin scene, Gloria Estefan and Selena. And even today, we have, artists like, Latin artists like Shakira, coming from South America, and other Latin artists that are really famous right now, like Jennifer Lopez, for example. Okay, we also have Queen Latifah. Now we cannot forget about Queen Latifah. She started this female movement in the rap and hip hop scene, and it really is quite interesting when you take a look at her life and what she has accomplished, and what she is still accomplishing even to today, becoming even an actress in today's world. Okay, Puffy Combs, good music producer, not a very good person in real life. Okay, we have Snoop Doggy Dogg. We've got Taylor Swift, Toby Keith, Tupac. Okay, Vanilla Ice, our white rapper. Okay, or a Caucasian rapper. Very, very influential people in the 1980s and 1990s. And into the early 2000s. And don't forget our Canadian, Katie Lang. She sang at the Olympic Games that were held in Vancouver. Okay, which is a pretty phenomenal feat. She sang "O Canada." All right, folks, that's everything for today. That's everything for the rest of our time, actually. This is our last week of formal learning. Next week, we're going to be doing something fun, but there'll be no weekly lesson video. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to fire me an email at any time. And don't forget to answer our last discussion question of the year. Have a great week ahead, folks. Bye for now.